Revenge films.
My boyfriend Ted proposed to me after 3 years of dating, and I was thrilled to get married to him. I'm so excited about our wedding, Ted. I have the perfect venue and dress. Now we need to figure out what kind of food we'll be serving to our guests.
Me too. We should put all our favorite dishes in the menu for everyone to enjoy. Don't you have a relative who's allergic to eggs, though? We need to be careful about food allergies.
Yes, let's create a separate menu for guests with food allergies. For our wedding cake, I'm going to ask the wedding planner to order the cake with no eggs in it. That way, my relatives can enjoy the cake with the rest of the guests.
Great idea. We should let the wedding planner know about all the guests with food allergies. We don't want to make a mistake there.
Yes, I agree. I called my wedding planner about my relative with the food allergy and asked her to create a special menu and also order a cake that was made without using eggs. Our wedding planner told me that she would take care of it and that it wouldn't be a problem. The day of our wedding arrived. Our wedding guests, including my parents, began to arrive at the venue.
Karen, you're gorgeous! Ted is one lucky guy.
Congratulations, you two. I'm so happy for you. Thank you so much for coming to our wedding. Make sure that you toss your bouquet in my direction. I want to get married ASAP.
Hey, that's not fair. You want to catch Karen's bouquet as well.
I was having a great time catching up with my friends. The wedding ceremony began and everything was going as planned. The food was amazing as well. It was now time for the cutting of the wedding cake. Ted and I were happy that our guests were having a nice time too. This cake is delicious. I can't tell that there are no eggs in it. We then heard a commotion coming from one of our relatives' tables. It looked like my cousin was having a reaction to the cake that we served and she fell onto the floor. Why is this happening? I ran over to my cousin to see if she was okay. Are you okay? Can you hear me? She became ill after she had a bite of the cake. The cake isn't made with eggs though, right? Our wedding planner called an ambulance and I stood there in a panic. It shouldn't have had any eggs in it. I specifically requested a cake without them. That's what I thought, but looking at her, it seems that she had an allergic reaction, which means that there were eggs in the cake. I then remembered that the cake that I tasted earlier was the same as an ordinary cake, and I couldn't believe that there were no eggs in it. I was now certain that someone had mistakenly used eggs. I called over my wedding planner and asked her to check that there are no eggs used in my wedding cake. Are you sure that no eggs were used in my wedding cake? My cousin had an allergic reaction after she took a bite of it. Let me check and get back with you right away. She ran to the kitchen to check with the other staff. The ambulance arrived to the wedding venue and my aunt accompanied my cousin to the hospital. We cut the wedding reception short. We couldn't enjoy the celebration after what happened to my cousin. I changed out of my wedding dress and waited for the wedding staff to explain to me what took place. Please explain to us what happened and what went wrong with the cake. There were no issues with the food menu for the guests with allergies. I checked that no eggs were used. What happened with the wedding cake, though? We apologize for the error on our end. We did let the staff know in advance that no eggs were to be used in that cake. Then what happened? What if something happens to my cousin? This is a very serious matter. We are very sorry about what happened. We will make sure that nothing like this ever happens again. The wedding planner and staff apologized to Ted and I profusely, but I couldn't let this go. I was very worried about my cousin and felt really bad about what happened to her. I was really upset because I made sure many times that my wedding planner knew that no eggs were to be used in that cake. Was there a breakdown in communication? No, there wasn't. I made it clear to the head chef and pastry chef that no eggs were to be used. So the person who made the cake was different from the person who made the food, then? Yes, that's right. As we were having the conversation, the pastry chef in question came into the room. I'm sure that my wedding planner told you that you shouldn't use any eggs for the wedding cake.
A cake isn't a cake without any eggs in them. I make the finest wedding cakes, and without eggs in them, the cakes become bland. I don't understand people that claim to have food allergies. I think it's more a preference than anything.
I don't believe this. Because of what you did, my cousin is in the hospital right now. She trusted me when I told her that there were no eggs in the cake. That's why she ate it. Her life could be in danger now, and it's all your fault.
I'm sure that your cousin will be fine. Don't make such a big deal out of this. I used the freshest eggs for the cake.
How can you be so irresponsible and call yourself a chef? We had to cancel our wedding reception midway because of what you did. We're suing you for what you did. Shame on you!
Why in the world would you do that? I was only doing my job. I'm not paying you any money.
The pastry chef was very cavalier about the whole situation, and I couldn't believe it. Then another man came into the room, and he did not look happy at all.
What's the matter with you? Don't you realize that without our customers, you wouldn't have a job as a pastry chef at all? Do you realize the gravity of what you've done? You put a person's life in danger! You knew that you weren't supposed to use eggs in the cake, but you ignored the request and baked the cake with eggs! Why on earth would you do such a thing?
My cake wouldn't be the same without eggs. I wanted the guests to enjoy the cake. That's why I put eggs in it.
For someone with food allergies, eggs can be poisonous. It was very selfish of you to assume that even someone with food allergies could enjoy a cake made with eggs. I'm calling the police.
The police? That's not necessary.
As soon as the pastry chef realized that the police were going to get involved, she panicked. She then began to apologize to the manager profusely, asking for his forgiveness. The police arrived to the venue soon after, and they took the pastry chef down to the station with them. My wedding planner and I spoke to the police about what happened. The pastry chef was arrested because we were able to prove that she had deliberately used eggs in the cake, even though she knew that she wasn't supposed to. She was sentenced to some time in jail. As for my cousin, she needed to be hospitalized for a few days, but she made a smooth recovery, and we were all so relieved. The wedding planner and manager came over to our house to apologize to us once again.
We apologize for all the inconvenience and worry we caused you on your wedding day.
They agreed to pay us for the damages and promised us that something like this would never happen again. They also suggested that we hold a second ceremony with close friends and family to make up for the first one. The manager told us that his company would cover all the costs for the second ceremony. At first, I was hesitant because of what happened to my cousin, but my friends and family encouraged me to have another celebration. I hope that the second ceremony is everything that you wished for, Karen. Even my cousin thought it would be a great idea to hold a second ceremony. I figured that if she was up for it, I could go through with it. Our second ceremony would be smaller than our first, but I knew that it'd be special nonetheless. Everything went well, and I was happy to be surrounded by so many close friends and family once again. The pastry chef for our second ceremony followed our instructions and made the cake without eggs in it. My cousin was also able to enjoy the cake, and this time she didn't have an allergic reaction. Ted and I were glad that we took our family and friends' advice to hold another ceremony. At first, I was in great shock because of what had happened to my cousin at my first ceremony. I was so relieved that she recovered from the allergic reaction that she had at my wedding. The first pastry chef should have never jeopardized my cousin's life for selfish reasons. Her priority should have been to make cake that all our guests could enjoy, including those with food allergies. I hope she regrets her decision and spends her time in prison repenting.
How was today's video? If you enjoyed it, please subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Stay tuned for more.